Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to the OMNI Coalition News Show, aka TOCNS. Where's my script here? This show is an amalgam of strange, weird, bizarre, off-the-wall, and otherwise things you don't normally see anymore from most news sources these days. During a time of political overabundance and divisiveness, we present you with more unifying topics to discuss, for the most part. For links to the articles and music done by Carrera and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and today I am joined by...
Who is Alice?
I'm MTM.
Yep. And in the live studio audience, we have Blob. He wishes to just chill and watch, which is fine with me. So, yeah, he needs a little bit of a break. He's had a pretty cool couple of days here, so he needs a little bit of a breather. So, anyway, let's jump on into the news today, shall we?
Indeed.
Oh, Alice is lagging again. There she goes. From Newsbreak, we have, and actually, MTM, did you find these, or who found these? Let me,
I did find this. I find this very interesting.
All right, do you want to tell us about it?
Yes. So this relates to Vancouver, Canada. Canada's recent plan to decriminalize substances. This guy named Jerry Martin, a 51-year-old, plans to open up a store in Vancouver, probably a brick and mortar, that will sell heroin, meth, MDMA, and more. That's the whole idea, he said. So this Vancouver man would be planning to open what would be Canada's first store that sells heroin, cocaine, meth, MDMA, and other drugs in a way to reduce the rising number of deaths stemming from the overdose crisis. Jerry Martin, 51, wants to open up a brick and mortar shop by the end of January when British Columbia's new drug decriminalization policy kicks in. The pilot project, which will be last 3 years, will mean it's no longer illegal to possess up to 2.5 grams of opioids, crack, and powder cocaine, meth, and MDMA.
That's insanity right there, dude.
Quite a bit, so I have to say. I'm for decriminalization because it seems to, lower some of the death and problems that come from this. Like, if you look at Portugal, they've mostly decriminalized everything and have a very low drug crime rate, seemingly so. A very low problem with this stuff.
Now, there's a country in northern Europe, I don't remember exactly which one, like, Norway or Sweden or, like, one of these countries, but, like, drugs and stuff are still illegal, but instead of just throwing them in jail, like, with all the friggin', like, murderers and struggle snuggle people and people who like children too much, and those kinds of people, like really violent people, like, non-violent crimes and such with drug, or even with violent crimes and drug, they treat them like and give them the help they actually need. These aren't people, who are like sociopathic or stuff. These are people who've fallen on hard times and one reason or another has resorted to controlled substances, and they help them. They actually help them. They recuperate them, and it's great. Like, I really wish I can remember what exact country it was, but they actually give them the help they need. What a concept, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
well, the other thing is that criminal networks, they have no recourse except for violence, right?
yeah.
Scroll down a little bit there.
Oh, sorry.
He says that he lost his brother a couple months ago, and because he went down to score, never made it back home. Referring to Hastings Street in Vancouver's downtown east side, that's known as the epicenter of overdose crisis in Canada. He says, every day I'm not open, more people die. I can't open fast enough. So
yeah, let's leave the rest for the viewers to go and read if they do so wish.
please, yes.
But like, this is interesting. Like, I don't know how this is gonna proceed. So like, it's because, see, like, you decriminalize drugs, and then now this guy, he's making it sound like he wants to help, and he may be, but so many people at the same time will want to take advantage of this. Like, right. I can now like legally sell drugs, so I'm going to do that. Because I mean, you want education on how lucrative drugs is. Look no farther than Breaking Bad. Although that's all
right.
It's
right.
so lucrative because it's illegal, but still, like, legality, you can still make money. So.
Right. We can move on a little bit, but I just want to say that sort of I think what they're hoping for, what this guy particularly is hoping for is sort of a similar process that cannabis decriminalization went through, where people on the street were, lacing weed with heavier drugs because weed is very light. It's a very leafy, flowery bud. So if you sprinkle crack rock or PCP or methamphetamine onto it, it weighs it down, and you can sell more for less.
Oh wow!
But
if
you have an actual marketplace,
say about that.
Yeah, if you have an actual marketplace or store to sell these things, you could like verify with the customer that, hey, this is just straight.
Yeah.
It is what it is, you know.
Yeah. Alice, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I had something to say when he said, like, people lacing marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was unknowingly smoking a joint back in high school. This is back, like, over 20 years ago, where somebody had actually laced the marijuana with PCP.
Oh, God.
And I didn't know it. I didn't know about it until after I smoked it. They're like, oh, by the way.
Wow.
This is laced with PCP. I was like, oh, my Lord. I end up waking up the next morning in a tube slide in like a children's park.
What the
in a
wow.
Yeah, because PCP has sort of the, depending on the way your mind is, PCP can have the effect on you of. Timothy Leary talks about how PCP gave him this effect.
Well, let's not get too much into this. We got to get back into this. I'm sorry,
some people
but
get,
no, that's fine.
Inhibition,
Well, MTX, let's talk about this after the show, because, like, I just wanted to say, like, I remember this back when I was a kid. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I don't. That's where I kind of like draw the line, especially if you're gonna start legally putting heroin, like selling heroin and meth. Like methamphetamines, absolutely no.
Yeah. Well, we have a serious problem with what is it? Because manufactured in China, it's
fentanyl.
Fentanyl, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what killed that guy that started that movement. I'm not trying to label names here. I don't want to flag anything. We got to be a little bit more squeaky clean on the news show, at least. So.
Well, didn't Heath Ledger? Didn't he have fentanyl? Well, Prince I know had fentanyl in his system when he died.
I don't know. But let's move on up here. Like, we got some more here from Newsbreak. A dad who ate 124 kebabs in 31 days to raise $1,200 for charity says he is physically and psychologically damaged. Wow, that sucks. It kind of reminds me of the Super Size Me guy, where he tried to go a whole month just eating nothing but McDonald's, and he had to quit early because if he kept on going, he would have had serious problems. It says here, not everyone is cut out to be perennial Nathan's hot dog eating champion Joey Chestnut. A British engineer and father of two who ate 124 meat sandwiches in a month for charity says he has been physically and psychologically harmed by the stunt. Des Brakey, at the age of 36, ate 4 meat wraps daily as part of a kebabathon for charity. He raised 1,000 pounds, about $1,200, and consumed 250,000 calories by the time he bent an elbow for his final sandwich on New Year's Eve. Let's see here. It says read on. So where? Oh, wait. No, that's not the same.
I look like Matt Gaetz. That's political.
Do you have to like scroll? Maybe like scroll the thing to the side. I don't know.
No, it's just telling me different stories here. So it's telling me to read on, but there's nothing more to read on about. Like,
I have it here. I couldn't let them down. Ricky began the eating challenge on the 1st of December, and this wasn't his first go-around. In 2020, he ate 60 kebabs in 1 month, raising more than $5,000 for the charity Nerve Tumors UK. This year, he was raising money to Francis House Children's Hospice and committed to eat at least 1 kebab, a sandwich made with spicy rotisserie meat, from a different shop each day as supporters contributed donations. There was pressure on getting there, he said. I had to do it, and I couldn't let them down. Well, see it kind of, when you scroll through the article, it shows you the different parts of it.
Yeah, like I don't know where you're seeing. Do you have an account on MSN?
No. It's you just click the arrow, see, and then you can read the
arrows.
Click the arrow. Yeah, click the.
Oops. Hold on a second.
Scroll down just a little bit, and you can read the text there. Whoops.
Right here. I'm not seeing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
arrow
You
you're
see the
talking
arrow?
about.
Okay. On the side of the picture, you were just clicking it, no?
Okay, right here.
No. Up a little bit.
This one?
Oh,
No.
sorry, I'm looking at the wrong stream. Yeah, see, I just read that. That's the full screen. The arrow just under that.
This one?
Yeah. When you click that,
slide.
it rolls through the. Scroll. See, it says Christmas Interruptus now at the bottom there. It shows
Okay.
different parts of the time.
No. Okay, screw it. Well, I don't understand what's going on with that. Let's move on up here. More from Newsbreak here. And this is as well as another one here found by MTM. Woman is in shock after stumbling upon futuristic McDonald's over Christmas. No humans work here, just machines. Yeah, this reminds me of there's a Starbucks. It popped up a couple years back now, but over down by the city center. And it is so sterile. Like, it's all supposed to be stuff that you ordered online. It's supposed to be pickup. It looks absolutely nothing like the standard Starbucks. It's not warm. It's not comforting. It feels like you're walking into a freaking office. Like, it is so sterile, so unwelcoming.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Actually, I heard that Minnesota is going to be launching a Taco Bell that's 2 stories, where they basically kind of do like the whole tunnel system, like banks do, to send the food down.
Oh my.
Yeah.
To like through the drive-through. Like, so like it's like a 2-story building, and like the bottom floor I think is going to be like a restaurant area where you make the order, but the upstairs is going to be the kitchen or something. I can't remember, but I saw it. It looks weird. It looks like an old
really
bank
weird.
refurbished into a
Taco
Bell.
Like the kitchen is where all the heavy stuff is. You're gonna lug all that stuff to the second floor. Like, that's.
Better have an elevator, yeah.
Well, I mean, like, why not have the kitchen on the ground floor or dig a hole? I don't know.
Yeah, it's close to the gas lines as well, yeah.
Yeah.
In the ground.
But anyway, it says
I
here...
thought this would be an interesting follow-up to yesterday's story where we were talking about automation in pizza restaurants.
Yeah.
Here's the TikTok video.
Yeah.
Fully automated, yeah. The machines make their own drinks there.
Yeah, but how does it get to you?
Down.
How does it get to you? Is there a person there who, like, transfers the cups from that machine
No, it
to
doesn't
you?
look like it. She's totally alone by herself in the restaurant.
But how do you
yeah,
get the drinks?
Perfectly open for her to, he or her to get robbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the store.
Well, I mean, like, if everybody... Well, first off, if nobody's there to attend the cash register, then there's going to be no cash. Everything's going to be card required. So this is also like a way for them to utilize the fast food industry to push us to be a cashless society, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Because, like, look at what happened to Mike Lindell. Like, if you have no cash, you're solely reliant on the bank to tell you how much money you have. Then suddenly you do or say something, against, the powers that be. Suddenly you don't have a bank account anymore.
Is it out to anyone?
Scary.
In a way, yeah, but...
So...
But at the same time, it is terrifying. Like, I don't like the idea of a cashless society. So.
Yeah. No. Like.
Oh yeah. Like my coworker's hearing this, and he was just saying like he thinks it's a good idea, and I'm like, no, it's not. Because like any time the bank can like Xander said, like all of a sudden like why are you missing like $50 out of your bank account and you didn't spend any money?
Yep.
Oh,
you mean like no physical cash? I mean no cash at all.
No cash at all. Like all it is like just digital. Yeah, that's
like no cash at all.
I don't like the idea of that. So.
Well, what's really scary is only like 1 to 2% of all the money, all the dollars in existence are actual physical dollars. Only 1 to 2%, if that, maybe even less.
Yeah. And there's so much cash moving around, it's insane. Like, also, like, people need to remember that, like, it says on your dollar bill, this is a debt for unpaid debts.
Yeah, it's a promissory note of money. It's not money in itself, it's an IOU.
Yep. Basically telling you that you owe no matter what.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like... The majority of our taxes go back to the Federal Reserve because that is a privately owned family company that has nothing to do with the federal government whatsoever. Just as the Federal Express has, like zero federal actual, like anything. And the federal, the the bank prints the money, and they loan it to our government, to our country, with interest. And then so immediately, there's more indebted than what we actually have, and we pay back that with taxes. That's why a lot of like you look at the toilet in the military base costs like $4,000. Why? Because $3,500 of that went back to pay the debt.
What was your question there to say about the money?
I had a question about money.
Yeah, you were just asking a question. I just wanted you to re-ask it.
How is the? I don't. But how? Wait, you said the Federal Reserve isn't a federal entity, but it has federal in the name.
No, well, it says Federal Reserve, but it's actually owned by a family.
Oh,
Yeah, a bit of a LARP there.
It's a private company.
A private company. I'm sorry. I would imagine something like the Rockefellers or somebody like that.
No, the Rothschilds own it. So,
Oh, the Rothschilds. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was the other one.
I've spoken about this video multiple times, and I've linked to it. The American Dream. It's like about a half hour long. It's an animation, but it really gets into like that whole thing. But I want to move on up
send
here.
me a link. Well, send me a link to that, and then I will send it to my partner in crime over here. So.
All right, let's see here.
I think he seems interested in it because he's been listening to your show. So.
Oh, nice! Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm streaming it on. Well, I'm on Discord with you, obviously, but yeah.
I'm adding this to the underbar, the description as well. For probably like the 7th time.
Yeah.
But let me DM it to you as well, Miss Alice. Where are you? There you are.
Thank you. I love you, buddy. My little Chihuahua.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on up here.
Moving on here, yeah.
I don't want to actually spend too much time on this. I just want to read the headline. New Jersey man cuffed for sex trafficking New York City teens. Stories like this, I don't want to get too much into because I don't want to start flagging the bots. Get videos taken down, get strikes, for one reason or another. But I just want to raise awareness about this and suggest viewers to go click the link in the underbar and read this themselves.
And do your own research.
Yeah, because this is disgusting. This is something I don't want to talk about on the show, honestly. So
yeah, honestly, I don't want to hear about it either. It's disgusting as in itself. But
I'm gonna start, and I'm sorry to interrupt MTM. I just want to say this. I'm going to start, pulling executive decisions and just being like, okay, I don't want to read this article. I don't want to read that article. Stuff like that. So, but what
this is a clear and present danger.
Yeah. What were you going to say, MTM?
Oh, it's just a tale as old as time. Lures them in with drugs.
Yeah.
And then set the prostitution ring online. Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. Anyway,
So the
another
CDC.
one. Yes. You want to take this one?
CDC. New, highly infectious COVID variant spreading much faster in New York, New Jersey than the U.S. Or
Yes.
NYNJ?
Yep.
Is it a different place?
New Jersey. Yes. This is brought to us by Headmaster Blob. He found this for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
NBC. A new Omicron subvariant that fuses two prior subvariants from the widely contagious strain that first emerged in South Africa is spreading rapidly in the northeastern United States, the CDC data shows.
Dang, that's scary.
Over in my neck of the woods, yeah.
A new
Everybody lately though is like, it's not COVID. They're all testing positive for just the simple flu out here in the East Coast.
A new, most transmissible yet COVID variant has established dominance in the New York area, fueling rising infection rates across the 5 boroughs as the looming nurses' strike and ongoing concerns about RSV in kids stoke fresh anxiety about the years-long pandemic. The XBB.1.5 strain, another Omicron descendant, is a highly contagious recumbent, one spawned from 2 prior and 2 different Omicron variants. Those 2 were considered more than transmissible than their predecessors at the time they were emerged, and the resulting fusion, XBB.1.5, is believed to be that much more potent in terms of infectiousness.
Good God.
So they've changed the names from the list of the new COVID variants that was once posted once before.
Yeah, we've had the straight
Of
up
names of potential. I think it was up to 19. Ugh. Oy vey.
Yeah, well, we have like the Omicron, and then we've had this, and we've had that, the Delta, and then like at one point we had the Deltacron. They somehow combined to form something crazy. Like I don't understand what's going on anymore. It's just constant. Like, oh, it's evolved into this now. Fear again. Everybody fear. Everybody go and get poked. Oh, now it's this one now. Oh, go get your booster.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh God, shut up.
I don't buy
You
it
know?
though.
Yeah, like this is stupid. Like ridiculous. Like you can't be fearful of every friggin' like speck of dust, bro. It's life. Like just gotta deal with it. So anyway, let's move on up here. This isn't good. Rebel news: over 2/3 of Berlin New Year's Eve rioters have migrant background. This is why you really gotta halt them at the border, guys. Like they're leaving their country. You think they're gonna give a shit about yours? Hell no. Berlin authorities have announced that the majority of those arrested for involvement in the New Year's Eve riots, which saw firefighters and ambulance workers attacked, have migrant background. We spoke about this, the fireworks thing that Blob was talking about. Yeah, the chaotic events. Yeah, they were utilizing fireworks as weapons and like pointing them at the emergency service responders and shooting them essentially. The chaotic events saw mobs, of migrant use cause destruction, including setting fire to numerous vehicles and throwing fireworks at individuals, as I was saying. The riots resulted in 3,943 incidents across the city, with 15 firefighters and 18 police officers being injured. The unrest was particularly prevalent in neighborhoods with high migrant populations, such as Kreuzberg and Neukölln. One disturbing video even showed a group of migrants throwing bricks into an ambulance at the people inside. So, wow.
Wow.
So.
Oh, really? Like that's just assholes right there. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, like if you've ever seen the movie Borat, not Borat.
Yeah,
No, not Borat. Zohan. If you've ever seen the movie Zohan. Like,
oh, don't mess with the Zohan.
Yeah,
like, is that
But
movie?
remember when all of the Israelis and all the Palestinians started having that epic fight at the end? Like, the whole reason why coming out here is fresh starts. But they left all that and they just couldn't stop. Like, you can take the city out, you can take the boy out of the city, but you can't take the city out of the boy. So like.
You can take yourself out of corruption, but the corruption will be there wherever you are.
Yeah. So like, I'm not saying anything against these people. I'm just saying they come from a very violent and tumultuous area of the world, and with that kind of chip on your shoulder, you see anybody that actually like had something to do with that, you're gonna fight. And we have all these migrants like the past couple of years, like all the people from Syria and Afghanistan and Iraq and Pakistan and Sudan and freaking everywhere, like just like
Kenya,
all of Europe is just like, oh,
Somalia.
come on over here, and they just like let them all in, and ever since it has just been one disaster after another, because like people are just people, man. Like, and as I said, they're fleeing, they're refugees. They're abandoning their own home country. You think they're going to give a crap about yours? Hell no. Hell no. So.
No, but they sure should have to learn our laws in order to become citizens, though.
Yeah.
They know them. Some of the immigrants actually know our laws better than we do.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. But anyway.
That's very sad.
Speaking of something that's sad here. I'm sorry, go ahead, MTM.
Oh, I was just saying with you, moving on, yeah. An arson attack destroyed a historic church in Portland, Oregon.
What?
Cameron
Really?
David Storer, a 27-year-old transgendered woman, also known as Nicolette Fite, has been arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree arson.
And I'm gonna predict that this transgender did so because the oppressive white Christianity is an institutional thing or something and trying to destroy it. I don't know.
Either way, it's sad.
But yeah, go on, Mr. MTM.
117-year-old church in Portland, Oregon, destroyed in an arson attack this week.
Wow.
According to the Multnomah County District, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, Attorney's Office, Storer admitted to setting the Portland Korean church on fire and stated that the voices in their head had told them they would mutilate Storr if they did not burn the church down. Storr also reported a history of mental illness and said that they had been taking oxycodone.
Oh,
We were talking about that
Imagine
earlier,
that.
Weren't we? No.
well,
Yeah.
fentanyl.
Yeah.
Well, oxycodone is like a sister of it, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
It's an
about.
opioid, yeah, I believe, yes.
Yeah, it is an opioid.
Opioid family of drugs.
That is.
Like every
know-
time.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just
Oh,
gonna
I was
say.
just gonna say that.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
No, you go
You
ahead.
go ahead.
You.
No, you go ahead.
No, you.
You.
Well, fine, I will.
You.
I was just looking to see if they were going to talk about a motive, but they didn't. They're just talking about mental disorder. So,
Well, yeah, his motive was the
Her
motive was mental disorder.
did you
And,
just assume her gender?
Their
they have
motive.
different light on the air. I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to cancel me on.
Cancelled!
You just got demonetized.
No sponsorship
Demonetized!
for us. Sorry, guys. No more money.
Yeah.
The church was
Sorry,
previously
not
known
sorry.
as the first German evangelical church and had been unused for several years. And it also sustained damage in a fire in 2020 and had frequently been illegally occupied by squatters. So
Wow. So
hopefully
they
no
weren't
one was
taking
there at
care
the
of it
time
at
of
all.
the fire and no one was hurt.
Wow.
Yeah.
So squatters were living in an old church. That
Yeah.
no, interesting.
Yeah. That sounds like the premise to the first Saints Row game.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
film cliche actually. Yeah.
I never
Go to-
played the
go to
first
church
one.
and zombies come in.
Anyway, here's something that's really sad. More from Rebel News. British performing group sparks controversy with use of adults with Down syndrome in drag. Wow. So now they're utilizing the mentally challenged to push their agenda, huh? Jesus.
Wow.
A dance company called Culture Device is being blasted online after forming a dance troupe featuring adults with Down syndrome performing in drag shows. The company, which focuses on experimental performance and works with Down syndrome adults, operates Drag Syndrome. Wow. A troupe they describe as the drag troupe for kings and queens with learning disabilities. The artistic director of Culture Device, Daniel Weiss, was enthusiastic about the opportunity to involve Down syndrome adults in drag opportunities. I don't want to continue reading about this. This is just absolutely disgusting.
No, this is just weird.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, if those people like it depends on the level of their mental disability, but like some of them might be, and I can get that, but like if you're like forcing it, then that's a whole different kit and caboodle.
I mean,
Yeah, sexualizing of the mentally unwell and the genetically different people. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
like,
just let them like process their own problems and let them be them.
yeah,
Don't sexualize them. Like let them like grow first, and then like if they feel ready for it, then sure. If they feel like that's what they want to do, then sure, let them do it. But as long as it's around adults, I don't understand the whole drag thing around kids.
yeah. Let's just move on here. Here's something interesting. More from Rebel
Yeah.
News.
Let's move on.
Australia to spend $1 billion on missile defense upgrades. Well, look at that. So,
Crikey.
the Australian government will spend up to $1 billion on missiles and rockets in one of the military's most significant upgrades in decades, and they need it because China is right there. Defense Minister... What?
Well, I was just saying they definitely need to because China is right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and Korea as well. They're
Well,
Oh,
Korea's
yeah,
not
that's
really an
true.
issue, but China definitely is. The Defense Minister Richard Marles announced the deal this week, which he said would help to safeguard against conflicts in the region. The purchase of the HIMARS, the High Mobility Artillery Rocket Systems, allows the Australian military to target threats at a range of 300 kilometers. With that distance will be increased over time with technological advances. The missiles, which will be available from 2027, are highly mobile, which makes them difficult for the enemy to target. Well, I don't think you're going to have that much time, my friend. Like, China's going to invade Taiwan this year. I'm going to call it right now. They're going to do
this
it
year?
somewhere
That's your
around March.
prediction?
So, sometime around
That's your
March.
prediction?
What?
That's your prediction?
That's my prediction because, like, from what I understand, like, yes, of course, there's maritime, there's shipping, there's cruises, there's, people being shipped. But when you're talking about an invasionary force, we are still very much limited to the whims of nature.
Well, didn't we talk about, like, in Today in History, like, I think about a year ago, like, how the naval did, like, an exercise, well, not an exercise, but, like, a computer simulated thing where our Navy would be demolished by China?
I think I remember hearing something about that, and that was kind of concerning because, that's because China has somewhere upwards of, 1,000 some odd shipbuilding facilities, to build their ships and everything. You want to know how many shipbuilding facilities we have out here in the U.S.?
Not that many.
We have 3. Not 3,000, not 300, not 33. 1, 2, 3. That's it.
3. Only 3 shipping yards.
Yes.
Oh, dude. So an easy targeting.
Yeah,
and we all know
that,
where they
but
are.
we just do not have the industrial capabilities that we did back in the Second World War. When Japan decided to screw with us, we were ready to screw back with them. Well, if China, when China, because as I said, there's only 2 times in the year where the weather is going to be appropriate enough for an invasionary force. It's either about 3-4 some odd months ago, or about 2-3 some odd months from now. It's in that time. And yeah, a bunch of stuff has been happening over there, but yeah, so
yeah. Well, what also alarms me was the fact that Russia and China are doing military ops together, like training things. Like they're getting ready for something.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget that that freaking Canada made a deal with China, and they brought over a bunch of Chinese officials to look at their training. And then they're like, "Oh, hey, we'll promise, you promise us you'll show us some of their training." Yeah, sure, that's going to happen. So now they have some of our secrets. And let's not forget the whole Afghanistan thing. Now they're equivalent to us technologically. So.
Well, also let's not forget that Canada currently allowed China to have military bases in their country.
Yeah. But anyway, before we trigger the freaking bots or whatever.
Yeah.
I see Brados, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on, good sir.
Welcome back, my freaking.
Yep. Anyway, we're going to move on up here. More from Rebel News. Activists push to ban Christians from renting council facilities. What? Here we go. Victorian activists are insisting that Christians should be banned from renting council facilities for worship services because their views on homosexuality are at odds with the Council of Alphabet People action plans. So now because they're at odds, you're trying to ban them. This is a complete takeover. People wake up. Come on.
So isn't that a violation of
human
amendment?
rights? Yes.
Separation?
Well, this is Canada.
Freedom of religion.
This is
Canada. Okay.
This is Victoria, Canada, I believe. It's either Canada or Australia. I don't know.
I thought you said something in United States, because then
this
I
is not
really
the
have
United
an
States.
idea.
Rebel News is Canadian news. They're Canadian based.
Oh.
I actually got this source from Little Miss Doom, if you remember her. So.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Miss.
Little Miss,
Well,
tease.
the more you know.
So anyway. It says here, Victorian activists are insisting... Oh, yeah, I already read that. Ratepayers Victoria boss Dean Hurlston told the Herald Sun that his local council should be ashamed after its decision to continue renting a council-owned building to an Anglican church that believed homosexuality was a sin. The city of Stonington reviewed its agreement with City on a Hill Church after the congregation hit the news last year when its chairman, Andrew Thorburn, was forced to resign as CEO on the Essendon Football Club because of links to the church. The church came under fire from Victoria Premier Dan Andrews for its orthodox Christian teachings on sexuality and abortion. Andrews described the church's views supporting traditional marriage and the sanctity of life as appalling and hateful. So, in response, you're going to be appalling and hateful and just straight up take away their ability to even talk to each other. Yeah, that's a good image you want there. Yeah.
That's a fabulous idea.
Yeah,
if you can't hear my sarcasm.
See, they don't seem to realize that they have the ability to talk like this because we are not stepping on the throats. So, in retaliation, they're going to step on our throats. Okay, yeah, that seems like a good idea. All right. I mean, I'm not a Christian or anything, but, Like, don't take away people's rights, bro. Like, if somebody opposes you, don't silence them.
It's funny how you point out that hypocrisy, and right where your mouse is, Hurlston said the decision was hypocritical because the council had promised to promote engagement, support, advocacy, and partnership
God.
for the alphabet community. Yeah, so
Ridiculous.
okay for them, not okay for us, right?
Yep. Oh, you know, as the saying goes, rule for thee, but not for me. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the saying. Thank you.
Anyway, this is Odd here from Oddity Central. Man buys 20 brand new robot vacuums for just $80 and gets what he paid for. Huh. Is that a bunch of smoke detectors? Let's see here. A Chinese man who recently bought 20 robot vacuums online for an unbelievable bargain price documented his experience to be the delight of the internet. The average price of a decent robot vacuum in China is around 1,000 yuan, or $145, with more advanced models costing several times that much, So imagine finding a robot vacuum for just 27 yuan, or $4 online. Can you blame this guy who bought 20 of them at once just to make sure that their number compensates for performance, only to learn the hard way that that's not how things work? As you can imagine, there was a reason these things cost next to nothing, because he got a good laugh and a lot of online attention out of it. First, the Shanghai-based YouTuber unboxed one of the ultra-cheap vacuum robots and attempted to test it on his desk by having it vacuum some pieces of paper. The result was not impressive. Not only did it not suck in one of the dozens of pieces of paper, but it also fell off the desk. Then the guy tried a safer test, placing the vacuum in a large cardboard box with some torn tissues to clean up. The device kept getting stuck in a corner and didn't do much vacuuming. Whatever scraps it did manage to remove got stuck in its rotating brushes rather than getting vacuumed. So, wow, he bought an egg.
It's like the little vacuum robot in Idiocracy at the hospital.
Oh, your floor is now clean. Your floor is now
Your
clean.
floor is now clean. Your floor, and it's just bumping into
It's
the
just
wall.
like this one streak of, like, clean floor, and everywhere else is just caked, like, discoloration. Like, oh my god, there's tile under the dirt. Holy shit. Like, oh my god. We're talking about Idiocracy, yeah. Anyway, more from Oddity Central. MTM, do you want to take this one?
Yes. Michigan oil slick turns out to be record-setting duck gathering.
Wow.
What looked like growing oil spill in Michigan's Mackinac Straits, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, area, turned out to be a massive gathering of tens of thousands of ducks and other aquatic birds. On the 21st of December of last year, Mackinac Bridge Authority stated that receiving calls from concerned drivers regarding the possibility of oil spill in the area. With each passing day, the number of calls regarding the oil spill kept growing, which makes sense considering that the black mass that had formed on the water appeared to be growing. However, it wasn't oil, but a record-setter gathering of redhead ducks. In the beginning, authorities counted around 7,000 of them gathered together under and around Mackinac Bridge. The number has grown since then, and there are now several tens of thousands of birds making up the oil spill.
Oh my god, dude, look at that. So this is not an oil spill, so that's good. I didn't know what we were getting into with this story. I just saw an interesting headline. Like, oh my god. Damn. Are there multiple pictures? Let's see. Ooh. That's a lot of birds.
Yeah.
It's a lot of birds. Oh.
It's crazy. I've been camping a few times in parts of California, and I've seen coastal birds, seagulls, things like that, do this on the water, and they'll build kind of like a wall the way like a soccer team will with like a penalty kick, and they'll just sit there and like make a bird wall and then pick up any fish they can and share them with each other. It's rather amazing to see like different species of birds working together.
Yeah. And see, I just saw that Blob's been commenting on all the stuff. It says DuckTales Oil Edition. Huh. No. We got another one here. This is interesting. From Oddity Central. Mysterious solar panel-powered antennas keep popping up in the foothills of Utah. What's going on? For about a year now, authorities said in Salt Lake City they've been trying to solve the mysteries of a series of solar-powered antennas that keep popping up in the foothills around the city. The first devices were discovered around a year ago. There was just a couple of them, but since then, about a dozen have been reportedly located and disabled. According to the city's recreational trails manager, The device consisted of a locked battery box, solar panel, and an antenna. No one knows who keeps planting them and for what purpose, so for now all anyone can do is speculate and attempt to dismantle them because they are installed on public land without a permit. So, that's interesting. And they're just, look at that, that's way up there. Like, who's installing these things? Why? Like, that's kind of...
Could be a...
China?
No, it could... well, it could be a rogue doomsday prepper, right? Who wants to get some battery power. Maybe they're living out somewhere in Salt Lake City and they just set these up, get the battery, then once it's done charging, right? And then they leave. But
that seems weird though, to like go all the way out there. You'd think that, why not just set up a thing in your backyard or something, Like, whatever, I hope we can get a follow-up from there, so. Let's move on up here. This is interesting. Family has been living in the middle of a roundabout for over 40 years. Oof. Talk about sounds of traffic. A Welsh family has been living in the middle of a roundabout for over 4 decades after refusing to leave as a circular road was built around them. In 1960, when David John and Irian Hollitzwan moved into their bungalow in Denbighshire, Wales, the area was just a regular neighborhood and things were pretty normal for about 2 decades. Until authorities came knocking and let them know that their property was right where a new roundabout was to be built. The Howells refused to move away, so the roundabout was built around their home, and the family has been living there ever since. Yeah, that's, man, so can you imagine there used to be, like, a neighborhood here, and then it's just, like, everything's just transformed? Like, that's wild. And I'd hate to live there. Like, why not just move? Like, I understand wanting to, like, sit, but, like... I don't know. Like, I haven't been in a situation like that, so it's easy for me to, be like, oh, just move. But like,
yeah.
People
call a place home and they get really attached to it, but yeah.
Yeah. And right here,
that's crazy,
that's weird. So you have the town here, and then just like farmlands or something, and then some kind of like whatever this place is.
It doesn't even look real. It looks like something built on like City Skylines or something.
Yeah, totally built out in City Skylines. Now, I have some sad and unfortunate news. The Terminator Dr. Peter Silberman, actor Earl Boen, died at the age of 81. Let's just call for a moment of silence for this guy. Alright, that should be alright for, our first moment of silence, but like, he's in that famous scene, when the T-1000 or whatever, like, liquefied through the bars at the mental facility. He's that doctor who's just, like, backed up against the wall watching the whole thing go. So.
Oh, yeah.
That's him. So. Says here, it has been reported that the star died on Thursday in Hawaii. The cause of death has not been revealed. A family member confirmed the news to TMZ, which stands for 30-mile zone. Look that up. That's actually pretty interesting. Not the news place, the actual label. He was diagnosed with lung cancer last year, according to a friend of Boen's and his family. The actor is survived by his second wife, Kathy, his daughter, Ruby, and his grandchildren, Kimi Abrika and Kimo Harbin. Don't know why we're doxing them. He appeared as a criminal psychologist, Dr. Peter Silberman, in 1984's The Terminator. He was a doctor then. In 1991's Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and 2003's Terminator Dark Fate. Never heard of that one. So, yeah.
Wow, so he was a recurring...
Oh, Dark Fate's that most recent one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not even real. It sucks.
I thought the guy who played J. Jonah Jameson also played this character as well in one of the other movies.
I don't know. Maybe... I don't know if J.K. Simmons was in it.
There's that scene where Arnold's carrying the coffin.
Yeah, that might have been J.K. Simmons there.
Let me double check here. Oh yeah, he's in Genesis. Yeah. So I think he...
I'm gonna say, I think he's only like in Genesis or something.
Huh. All right. Well, anyway.
Genesis was okay.
It was alright. The first two were the best. So
Yes,
The third
hands
one-
down, they were the best.
third one kind of sucked, although the ending is, kind of like breathtaking. Not that it's like amazing or anything. It's just like, oh my
Like
god,
the-
like you see all the nukes going off. It's like shit, that can happen. Like especially with what's going on
Yeah,
today.
no, it was-
That's like like we reported yesterday, like that ship with the hypersonic nuclear tipped missiles,
Yeah.
left Russia. Like, yeah, I don't like the way things are going. No. But anyway,
Yeah, indeed.
Speaking
Sketchy.
speaking of bad things here, we were talking about this yesterday. More from the mirror. Ambulance. Actually, Doom Guy, do you want to take this one? You're lagging out a little bit. Are you
Ambulance workers announced a new January strike date and. Huh?
I'm just saying you're lagging out a little bit. But go ahead.
Shit. I'm on my phone, so.
Ah.
Yeah. Ambulance workers announce new January strike date in pay dispute. Unite Ambulance Workers will strike on January 23rd in an ongoing dispute over pay, the union has announced. More than 2,600 ambulance workers in the West Midlands, Northwest, Northeast, East Midlands, and Wales will be involved in the walkout. The union said it will work with local trusts to ensure life and limb emergency cover. Ambulance workers at Unison are already working out on January 23rd, as well as staging action with GMB Union on January 11th. The areas already due to the affected are London, Yorkshire, the Northwest, Northeast, and Southwest, with paramedics and 999 call handlers are due to strike with both Unison and GMB unions to take industrial action this month.
Now, 999 is their version of 911, so that's not saying that almost 1,000 handlers.
Yeah.
That's the 911 operators, their version of it.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Oops.
and then,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah. So,
I can't help but feel the story is correlated with, or like a cause of the New Year's Eve riots, right? Like they want more pay because their safety is endangered.
well, no,
right?
the riots were in Germany. This is in London.
Oh, excuse
So,
me.
yeah, no, the riots were for something else. It just, like, people just became violent. Like, out of nowhere, as far as I'm aware.
It could be that they're fearful of further rioting, right? And they want a
I don't
pay
know.
increase for that.
But no, like, this has been going on in London for, like, about a month or so now, actually. Like, there's been a lot of, pay problems and
Oh, really?
stuff like that. So, like as we, I don't think you were here yesterday, but we covered a story about this, what was she, like 81 years old or like 87? She was old. And she spent 13 hours in an ambulance waiting because, like, some law, like, I have to talk to Dad about this because he's talked to me about this a couple of times. But some kind of law in the UK, like, has been passed recently, and, like, it's really making life like hell for the emergency team people. And, like, in response, instead of holding the patients in the hospitals, they now hold them in the ambulances, for, like, check-ins and, to get treated and stuff like that. So it's absolutely bananas. So, yeah, and actually, there was another story. I was wondering whether or not to report on it earlier, but it involved somebody dying, and, as I said, I'm trying to, like, not be too much sad stuff in the shows, but, like, dying waiting in the ambulance. So, yeah, this is just happening every day in Britain right now. So, yeah. But anyway, let's go on. I hope this is a little bit more upbeat. From UPI, otherwise known as UPI, we have Canadian province's most inappropriate 911 calls includes clogged drain. Police in Saskatchewan, Canada are reminding residents not to abuse the 911 emergency line by revealing some of the most unusual calls of 2022, including calls about clogged drains and unwanted voicemails. See here, RCMP Saskatchewan Royal Canadian Mounted Police released its list of the top 10 non-emergency calls that missed the mark. by 2022 by being placed to 911, including a caller who requested assistance deleting a voicemail from their phone, a caller whose bathtub drain was clogged, and a caller who used the emergency line to avoid being put on hold, and a request for paperwork. So let's see here. A hostile cat, angry roommates. So here's a whole list. So yeah, got milk. A caller advised they were out of milk and requested RCMP officers to pick some up for them. Really? Dude, they're not Uber. Like, oh, hello police, can you deliver me some milk? No. What the hell? That's weird, bro.
People think they're funny, yes.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna add this. I didn't see this earlier, so I'm gonna add this in the underbar as well. But for the most part, unless anybody has anything else to add, that shall...
Well, in major U.S. news, the voting for Speaker of the House finished after about 12 days, I believe, and it was McCarthy that won. Closes in on votes, predicts Speaker win tonight. About 35 minutes ago, yeah. So this is about after 12 days of voting. The House can conduct no other business and members can't be sworn in until a Speaker is chosen. And this is the longest Speaker election since actually 1859.
Wow.
Wow.
Blob here said in response to the 911 stuff, by publishing such lists, they just invite people to do stupid emergency calls. Yes, we do live in a society of trolls now with the internet, so just watch out what you do. But anyway, I'm going to wrap us up here. That shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar in the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things OMNI Coalition. For your dose of different and otherwise unknown news, we stream Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, which is 3 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Central,
5 p.m. Eastern.
and 11 p.m. German time, as well as the majority of Europe and whatnot. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
I'm MTM.
I am the Pam Poovy of Alice.
And I am the Slayer.
Yes.
The Slayer.
I was wondering whether or not you'd unmute yourself. Then we also have in the live studio audience Mr. Blob, taking a break for the first time. Well-deserved break. He's been working his butt off in the background.
Good break for him.
So, good job,
Mr.
Blob. Nice little pat on the blob.
We
for the
love
good
you,
job.
Blob.
So, anyway, until you catch us on Monday, or if you're interested in history, we have a history show every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time. Until then, oh hey, hello Pink Floyd, we're literally signing out. Until then, don't forget to look...
It's also, it's 1 p.m. Eastern time also, so for those in the middle, they can figure it out and do the math.
Well, for the history show, yeah, but I don't get into the different time zone discrepancies for that.
5.
But anyway,
It's 5
until
PM.
you catch us again, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Doodles.
Be cool, stay in school, don't you drive.